Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. I'm Charlie and this is the Motorcycle Rescuer. So welcome back. Here's my Gilera DNA 50cc two-stroke. Me and Jake bought this bike a while back, 75 quid each I think. We were both skint and thought we'd have a quick turnover. Once again we were wrong, we're always wrong. But at the moment we've got a bike that is meant to have had a top end rebuild. Spark plug's brand new, variator's done and cleaned, crank seals are changed and should be okay. And we basically have a bike that should be ready to turn over. Now, this carb isn't the right carb. This is a two-stroke carb, but it's not for this bike. It's for a SIP, so it won't be as, as good as it should be. If we're being honest. But if this shows any sign at all of life, then we'll look at buying the proper parts for this bike. That rear caliper is wrecked. You can buy new ones online, remakes, so they're not Gilera, but they're remakes, they fit. And also Gavin, you just posted some Gilera parts online, didn't you? So if your rear part looks like this, then you could be sorting me right out already. And the front has nothing at all. There's no bite. Obviously that could be a number of issues, but it's more likely that it's just had it. The new ones come in kind of black, I think, and they just look neat and nice, and these wheels look neat and nice. So I think if the engine ever fired up, then we would go down the making sure it was safe route. These bars, I don't know if they're meant to have a slight bend in them. The right one doesn't touch the tank, the left one does. Look at that. So I don't know, again, I don't know if they're meant to or not. Maybe they're meant to be turned slightly turned. They do seem a bit low actually. It probably needs to come this way, or they're probably meant to be straight. I'm not sure. The chances of it having been dropped on both sides and not showing much other damage, there is a bit there actually, and there is a bit there. so it probably has been down on both sides. But this is a full rebuild, guys. This is not easy. This would be a parts bike if I bought another Gilera DNA, and I've got one in mind. Actually, this would be the parts bike. That would be the better bike, because everything on this is wrecked and ruined really. The seals seem okay at this stage on this side. A bit of a polish. They're not looking too healthy, but it is something that can be done. The panel work is not great, but it's okay. It's an interesting colour as well. Obviously it's got no coolant at all in it. The wiring seems okay-ish, kinda. Ish. I'll get Jake to sort that out. But we know it has spark, so that's the main thing. First thing I'm going to do is I need to throw this side casing on, this side here, because that's what holds the pillion in to be able to start it, to even crank it. And then I am going to be throwing some fuel in, and we're really going to be praying that something happens. So guys, Danny just messaged me. That's DT Essex Motorcycles, or DT Motorcycle Essex, one of them. And he said you're at 1,500 subs. Now he's the guy who said to me a few days ago that I was close, and I couldn't believe it. Absolutely couldn't believe it, because I was at 1,000 and something, 1,048 or something. So my god, the channel's climbing so much faster than I expected. I gave him a little bit of advice, and it's about connections. It's about connecting with people. People want to see the bikes, they want to see the progress, they want to see the builds, and they want to chat, and they want to know that you're human. And I think that's the most part, the biggest part of having your channel. I think most people are trying to connect. And I'm looking at my stubble right now, and I'm thinking, who wants to connect with this? I guess I have to thank each and every one of you. That some of you write every single vid I upload, and you comment, and you write to me individually, and your support is unbelievable. When I started, I had kind of 6 people, and that was family who were doing all that. And now I've got people who I know now by name. I know if I'm going to Essex that I can drop in to to who? Daniel. And I know that if I'm going other places further up north, I know Nat. If I'm ever passing Nat, I drop in every now and again, and they're the kind of connections that are brilliant. So anyone who's running your channel out there, keep going. Chat to people, put comments in your comment section, give them shout outs online. And that reminds me, I'm meant to be shouting out someone. Oh, Mulberry, Danny Mulberry, I think his name is. Danny Mulberry, there's your shout out. I think I'm right on that occasion. You haven't got a channel, so I'm not shouting out a channel, I'm shouting out a person. There's nothing to check out. Well, I guess check out his Facebook page if he has one, or stalk him online. But there's a shout out to Danny Mulberry. I hope you had a nice Valentine's Day. I was on my own. I actually had Sultan for a couple of hours, which was nice. Not literally had Sultan. Worked with Sultan here. Yeah, I'm pleased. Let's switch the camera around. Let's look at how do you switch the camera around. Let's look at what I'm doing. I've just chucking in 2 bolts. It just needs to be enough bolts to hold this on at the moment. This was a good paint, whoever did this originally. Someone really looked after this bike at one point. Long time ago. 2 bolts just to hold it in. Look, I'm putting that in by hand. Just needs to be secure enough to turn it over. I'm going to do the same here. I've got the fresh fuel. So we are kind of ready to, yeah, we're kind of ready to just have a play. I might actually switch over the throttle just in case, because at the moment we can't really mess with the throttle, can we, on the old cable? Does that even move? Oh, it's solid, but kinda. I might actually switch them over, make sure it's got some cable, because there's a chance, minimal, but a chance that this does kick in or do something. So guys, let's look at what I've done so far, just in case. We've got the actual throttle connected up now. That is not the final setup, because if this ran, I'd want the actual DNA carb on it. A couple of screws in here and nipped down. They're 8mm, so this needs to be quite solid so the starter doesn't jump. And I've actually nipped down the carb properly in case there was air escaping in. When it comes to actually starting this thing up, ideally it needs some sort of air restriction. Because yeah, it needs, you know, that right ratio. A 2-stroke more so than a 4-stroke. Even actually a 4-stroke will run with no exhaust on a little bit, and will run with no airbox on a little bit. 2-strokes are quite temperamental. I've chucked on the 2-stroke pump, but I'm not reliant on that. I'm going to put some in straight into the fuel as well, because if this engine fired up, then that would be really good for it anyway. And I think I'm just going to connect up a battery, chuck some fuel in through the fuel thing, through the external fuel tank, and try my luck, really. I'd love to hear this engine. I'd absolutely love to hear this engine, but I'm asking a lot. So everyone, this is where I always let myself and others down. There's your 2-stroke mixed with fuel. It's a tiny bit of a 2-stroke there. There's your power source, just a separate battery. It's from this actually. Let's check that we are powered up. Well, nothing works, so it wouldn't matter, would it? Oh, the horn works. Oh, okay guys. I mean, extremely little chance of this firing up, but let's give it a shot. Let's turn the fuel on first. That's important. Right. Let's try some flammables. Let me pause you and then we'll try something flammable. So we got some brake cleaner, look on the back, see that sign there? That's what we're looking for. Also it will clean the engine, isn't it? My guess is that there's no spark at the moment. I'm going to have to check that out. So we've definitely got spark. The next step here is to dribble some fuel down the spark plug hole to see what that does. Because even though this engine was rebuilt, it's been sitting for 3, 4, 5 years since then. So the rings themselves could have become compressed. It still might need piston rings. It still might need a top end rebuild. So I'm going to dribble some fuel down there, see what happens, see if that fires it up. At the moment, spraying brake fluid through isn't working, but there is of course a reed valve in here. Now that shouldn't be stopping it. It should be flowing through, putting weight on the reed valve and then going straight through, but we don't know. So I'm going to dribble some through, straight through to the spark plug slot, and then we'll really know what's going on. So fuel's in the chamber, there is spark. This will give us some idea of what's going on. If we get nothing at all, then it's almost definitely a top end rebuild. Yeah. Alright. That's not you, is it?
Huh? It's me.
You put a ticket on it.
Who's that?
I don't know, I just saw it.
How did you give me tickets here, bro?
Yeah, I know. I wasn't here.
Who's that? Is it Islington?
No, that'll be Ace, won't it? Who is it?
I'm not gonna pay that.
Alright guys, we're getting nothing at the moment still. I think I'm right. I reckon it would need just piston rings. Jake's here though. You guys don't see Jake much. He hates the camera. Don't go near the SH. It's rubbish. So I've done the seals, Jake. We've got spark. I've even put fuel down the spark plug hole, but we're not getting any start. But there are a couple of things that concern me about this bike. Alright. The carb is a SIP 2-stroke carb, so it'll be quite underpowered. That exhaust, I think it is it though. Is it stock 50 though? Yeah. Actually, it is, because the restrictor pipe down there. Right. Okay. What I want to do, Jake, is I want to try restricting the airflow in a bit and the airflow out. So if you cover the carb, I'll cover the exhaust a bit. Basically, I just want to give it a bit of punch so it might fire up. So we're going to
take turns on it.
No, you go that side. Just you know, leave a tiny bit of gap for the airflow on that side. Or even actually, a towel works well. There you go. Why didn't I think of that when you weren't here?
Because you're not me. So what do you want to do? Restrict the
A tiny bit, a tiny bit. So we got fuel, we got spark.
So we've definitely got
I mean, I know what happened to this bike. They rebuilt it and then didn't run it. My guess is that the rings have compressed and rusted and they're kind of compressed and sealed. To be fair, a top end rebuild on this is easy.
Yeah.
It's quick.
As long as you like coolant.
There's no coolant in there. I mean, that's the point, isn't it? We don't know anything about this bike.
Yeah.
No coolant in there. So I think popping the head off wouldn't hurt, and we can probably get to it from here, can't we?
Yeah. It's pretty straightforward.
I might pop the head off and we'll have a look at the piston rings, because it might be that we can just free them up, guys. It might be that they're compressed, they're not sealing, we just free them up really gently. Let's have a little look at that, because if they're not compressing, or should I find the compression tester? Yeah, be nuts not to. Alright, that's what we're going to do, guys. Alright, guys, we got the tester on. I don't know what a good number normally is, like 100, 120. I don't know what a two-stroke would be, but we'll have an idea, and also we'll know if it seals or if it drops. So we'll know by how it sits. So Jake, wide open throttle. You don't have to press the brake, just the starter.
So like this.
Yeah, is the battery connected? Alright, we'll be back in a minute. Okay, guys. So wide open throttle. You don't need to press the brake, Jake, because it's all disconnected. Make sure the throttle's open. Throttle wide, and we'll look at the test. Go on in. And stop there. So is that, what's that, 35, 40 psi?
Yeah, about 40.
It's not bad.
No, it's terrible.
I know, I was joking. Just out of curiosity, see if you can punch it up a bit more, Jake. I'm curious. Wide open throttle, yeah? Alright, yeah, alright, we're good. Alright, disconnect all the battery, Jake. That battery was dead. We left it on this.
Yeah.
It was so dead, it was 0.8 volts. My charger wouldn't even charge it. I had to get an old charger out that charges no matter what. The new specialist one wouldn't. Basically the old dodgy ones. Then that boosted it, then I put my charger on it. Right, I'm gonna pop. No, I'm not, guys. I'm gonna do that tomorrow. We're running out of light. I think, Jake, the best use of our time now would be throwing some panels back on this bad boy.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I think so.
I think
back to normal.
So I've ordered a new key set, mate. 40 quid it was. But that's fast and free, so
Yeah.
the £30 one came next week. I was like, I'd rather the extra tenner. I guess back here, Jake, let's just make sure everything's plugged in.
Yeah.
And
Fun one sorting out the electrics.
it'll be alright overall. But I think we can get the back end kind of nipped up. That won't hurt. Ideally, I'd be popping off this exhaust next weekend and dumping some black on it, matte black. Obviously cleaning off the rust, because we need to get kind of 750-ish out of this.
We need to make it look nicer than what it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's not nice. Even when it's together, it's not particularly nice. It's rough.
I like the FMR.
I like the shape, but the plastics are crap, is what I'm saying. They're all kind of wrecked, really. But the point is, this bike owes. I mean, it owes me loads, because it's about the bloody Vespa, and then the other, because I sold that nice Sinis, gave that nice Sinis to Lisa, and then got that Vespa, blah blah blah. Long story short, the channel's made no money out of any of these bikes.
Yeah.
So Warren owes me 200, you owe me 2-ish. And good. Yeah, I think let's get this looking like a bug again. We're dead set that that we've solved the issue. We're using I think this is the regulator that used best, so I'm going to bolt that down, switch it for that one, I think. Although I might not, let's wait, because we're going to be messing up here. That ignition is faulty, but let's be honest, it wasn't faulty until I pulled it apart. Hold my hands up to that. But what this didn't have originally, Jake, was a steering lock. The steering lock never worked.
Oh, did you fix that breaking it then?
No, I just broke it a bit more. Look, so the steering lock's on, but it can still steer straight.
Okay.
Problem is, the new ignition might not fix that. It might be a problem with someone might have tried to steal this at some point. But I think so, guys. Let's we're going to start throwing some panels back on this bad boy. We'll chuck the fan on down there and the cover, and let's get it looking like a bike again, because it needs some love and attention. Alright guys, Jake's learning the hard way. This bike is such a puzzle. They all clip in really in an interesting way. And actually that panel is a pain in the arse on its own. But we can't really do that. We're just nipping up the rear end for now, because everything else connects. Even then, Jake, connecting that up to this becomes an issue anyway. And then that middle panel there. So I just kind of the rear end, I think, with the bucket. And we can put the tray back on.
Yeah.
The bent trailer where we dropped it.
Who?
Warren. This bike was hit by a car.
Oh.
The steering was bent. I straightened it. And then it stopped charging.
Railings.
We think we've resolved that though. You won't need that, mate. You won't need that. So yeah, guys. So we are piecing it back together. But look, there's stuff like the housing down there needs to go on, and bits and pieces. Sultan's here cleaning up his calf. Sultan, someone's coming to look at it, aren't they?
I hope so.
Well, they are, aren't they? It's all arranged and agreed.
You never know.
What?
You never know.
They're due, aren't they? Aren't they due like now?
They're due now, yeah.
Yeah. So they are due. But you are right, actually. People say that, and people.
And then you get ready, clean it.
You are right. People don't turn up.
Yeah. This ain't coming off, by the way. It doesn't look like it's coming off.
No, it don't look like it's coming off.
Well, my recommendation is sanding block.
Something will take that off. Just go give it a scrub. Go and get a wheel cleaner or something. Something tough. We just noticed that on the exhaust that we bought, see there, look, it has the ER500, because people write on it in paint in case you try and send it back. So we're just scrubbing that off. The brake cleaner will definitely loosen it up. You just got to let it sit for a minute, and then you should be able to scrub it off. It'll be a shame to see the calf racer go, but I haven't had much to do with it. I would have gone a tiny bit further with the calf. I think I would have put on a better exhaust system. What are you laughing at? I don't know. Well, no, but there's different standards. Sultan's a newbie. He's getting used to it. You know, he's done a great job.
You literally said yesterday I didn't put much effort in it.
I've never seen so much blue tack used on one bike. Not even the real stuff, the Poundland one. No, honestly, no, it's not about that.
In fairness, the bike was already, like, the hard part was already set up, like, trimming the back.
The problem is, what we've said to you quite a lot recently, you do everything slow.
Yeah, I like this.
So slow.
I'm not trying to make millions out here. I'm just doing this because I've got nothing to do.
It's not about that though. It's about having some drive, not turning up at the garage, sitting down and chatting crap.
But for me, that's part of the experience. Sitting down after, like, taking off one.
Do you know what? I think it's quite a compliment that the only thing I would change, Sultan, is I'd have one of the mini coolant bottles somewhere else. I wouldn't have it under there just because it sticks out a bit, and I'd have a better exhaust system. So that's the only changes, and I think that is quite a compliment. And I would do something here. I would do something. Just.
Do you want to know what the owner said to me? Well, not the owner, but the prospective buyer.
Yeah.
He said he liked it without the panels.
What do you mean?
I showed him a picture. So he saw the ad. So how it was, the pictures. Basically what he's right
Without them side panels though,
and he saw it with you know the picture where in the snow where it had no side panels on it. He
Yeah.
saw that as well and said he liked it with that.
well, that's ridiculous though, isn't it? Because looking at all the
His bike,
wiring.
he can do where he likes with it. So
Yeah. I would have just bridged that gap a little bit more with a triangle there. And I would have done a darker. To be fair, I helped you pick that. It did look the right colour, didn't it? But now we know.
The mesh triangle wouldn't work.
Why?
We're famous. I'm getting a lot of people.
It would if you painted it in the same colour. Because it would tie, wouldn't it? It would flow. Calf Racer flows. But you've got a great bike here that starts on the button, drives great, doesn't overheat, you know.
In hindsight, I think it would look a bit. You know the GPZ, the green one that we saw on the one that was.
No, it wouldn't.
It gives me that kind of vibes.
If you painted it the right colour. These were so much more plasticky than I expected, but you didn't expect that either. I mean, they really annoy me actually.
They pass.
I like them mini bullet ones, but they cost like 80 quid. Tiny millet. Have you seen? You don't do any of them.
What?
The tiny bullet LED indicators.
Yeah, sold out.
Shut up.
Yeah.
How much were you selling them for? I've seen them for like 80 quid.
I don't remember. Sank City. I'm not that expensive. I think like 20 pound or something.
You should get them back in, you know. But yeah, so it's quite a compliment. I wouldn't change that much. This bike was screaming for a decent exhaust system though. But then he can do that. Alright guys, so as you can see, we've got the rear end of the bike together. It's a real puzzle, this one. Sultan's calf is out on a test run, which is so lucky. You are so lucky. I really struggle with getting buyers and sales. You chuck yours up, and nicest, poshest guy we've ever met turns up to test it. Of course you can. Posh is polite, Jake.
It's polite, not posh.
I can hear the bike. But guys, thanks for watching. Today's video is it's not very long because I spent hours doing my car MOT this morning. But we got bits and pieces done. You know, if Sultan gets his sale, he's going to be very happy. What, are you going to screw after this?
Hey, you're the one that needs to figure out his tools fit.
Alright guys, wrapping up for today. He didn't want Sultan's bike, fair enough. He wasn't expecting a calf racer to be so caffy, as in his back couldn't take it.
So much sciatic or something like that.
Yeah, which is true. Calf racers aren't for everyone. They're probably a second bike. But he's interested in the XJ550. That would be a right result for me. For me, yeah. But that is kind of the way me and Jake have had that many times, where someone comes to buy a bike that you've made and it's not for them, but you've got one ready.
Oh, yeah.
So that is something that happens.
Rise,
The Lex Motor guys is back together. I know it's a bit weird, isn't it, that we're piecing it back together without showing you that it charges. But we've ordered the new ignition barrel and the new little. I showed you before. It's the little diode that goes into there, and then we know it's charging because we saw it. So that's all good. We're going to keep piecing this back together, and tomorrow I'm going to tear down the engine of the DNA, so that will be exciting. 1,500 subs today, guys. I hit 1,500 today. Yeah. Oh my god. That is, honestly, guys, that's exciting, because it took me ages to get to 1,000. Now I'm halfway past that. It's unbelievable. And I think it slowed down because of you.
What? No.
How's your channel doing, by the way? How many videos you got up? Because it's easy. You said it's easy.
You don't realise when I'm at home, I'm just asleep.
What?
I don't do any editing.
I don't mind, but you said it's easy. Guys, thanks for watching. As always, I'll see everyone tomorrow.